Ben Ricky asked us to do the film, and I think it's something we've been talking about for a long time. Just kind of loosely talking about doing some sort of score sometime in the future. And when he made the movie Waterborne, it came up again. So Dino and I were glad to start trying things and trying ideas and laying things down. And luckily, he enjoyed it, what we were doing. So we kept going. That's how it started, I guess.
It's way different, you know, because you're not like writing songs, you're writing music, you know, for the picture. It was an adjustment, I think. It was a real learning experience for both of us, being our first one. Just Ben taught us a lot about how, you know, songs don't structure the same as they do for score, as they do just when you're listening to the audio, just to songs in general.
The song doesn't have to be, the piece doesn't have to be as engaging. When you write songs, you want every moment of the song to be engaging, because that's the only medium. I think with the visual medium, you know, scoring a visual, it can be a part that's just kind of there and has more of just a mood to it, not an engaging element like a hook or a, you know, a crazy melody at all times. So that was different for sure.
It's just great watching a film come to life like that, and how you can change, you know, you can completely change the movie and change the characters, and it's a fun challenge, you know, and it's like it's inspiring because you get to just write music, you know, in a different kind of way that you don't usually do, you know, when you're sitting in a room writing or whatever. It's fun to be inspired by the picture.
Well, there's definitely some scores that stick out. I mean, Requiem for a Dream, that score, the Kronos Quartet, it's a brilliant score. There's definitely films. Kubrick always uses great music. What else is there? Oh, the Air score for Virgin Suicides.
Yeah.
Just there's certain scores, you know, I'd actually go and buy the whole thing on CD.
The Air one was the Virgin Suicide was the first thing that really made us think about doing one, I think.
Just great. And then there's bands too that almost make records that are scores. I mean, you have Mogwai and Sigur Rós and bands of that sort where they're almost, those are scores basically, but they're records, you know, considered rock records.
For me, when I watch movies, like some of my favorites with what I think are the ones with the best music in them. It's always been like that since I was a kid. I didn't really realize it until I got older, you know, that I really loved that movie was because of the music a lot of times.
Which one?
But just, oh man, I can't even really list them all. It's just like things that I see now that I've seen when I was a kid, and I still remember the music. You know, when I watch it, I go, oh, I remember loving that part, you know. But like, to me, as long as you can hear the music, as long as it's audible, you know, below the dialogue or whatever, it's just as important to me as like dialogue. I don't really, for me, it doesn't really. I know it takes like a backseat as far as like, it's not louder than dialogue and stuff like that, but as long as it's in there and you can hear it at all, it's like you're really, it's a huge part of the entire thing, you know. If you close your eyes, and I mean, it's still like, you know, impacts how you're feeling when you're watching, you know. Before we went on tour, I was living up at Drew's mom's house, and I was just playing this little tiny keyboard thing, and I think I started playing that little. It's just 3 little chords, you know. And then there's the Deftones tour I think we did, and we just started doing it during sound check, and
it was in the outro too, right? It became the outro. He wrote it. I laid down guitar over it, which kind of gave it just a little more of a layered feeling. And we did it as the outro to every set. And then Ben came to one of our shows in San Francisco and mentioned that he really liked it. He thought it had a great mood about it and that it would fit in the film, possibly. So. This scene just after Shabana gets attacked, and you know, Ben wanted the piece to start there and go all the way through that whole, I don't know if montage is the right word to use, but that whole, you know, section. And I think it was the longest thing we've ever done where it doesn't really change. I think naturally we wanted to, you know, to put a change in there. It was just kind of a natural thing for us. And Ben was, you know, comfortable saying, no, keep it fluid and keep it the same mood and just bring things in and out, maybe instrumentally, so instrumentation wise. But that was difficult, I think, just to kind of keep that, you know, with 9 minutes or maybe even longer of just one piece. Didn't we do that a couple times? We juggled around. We started, the ambulance scene was originally over the Jeep scene. Is that right?
That's right.
And we thought the ambulance scene works great now because it's a heavy moment in the film and it's a heavy piece and very dark. It's a very dark moment. And the Jeep, even though it looked great with the motion, the Jeep scene's not dark at all. It's just two soldiers going out to do their job, just checking something out. So we put something a little lighter over it. So that was a part where we had to swap ideas for sure.
That's right.
And that's definitely part of the challenge, you know, that example. It's part of the challenge of scoring, is like trying to figure out what's best for the movie as a whole, you know, or in just a scene in particular. Like sometimes something will totally work, but it's creating the wrong mood, even though it works and it's dope and the music's awesome. It's like it's not the mood you need, you know, and that's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, totally.
So it's kind of a weird thing. You're like, wow, this is really working, but it's not supposed to
Trying to
work like this.
make something more dramatic than it is.
Yeah, or
It's very
be
possible.
less. We basically did it with no microphones. We didn't use one microphone on the whole score. Which
No
is kinda fun.
amps, no microphones.
Kind of like this interview, huh?
Cheapest way. Dredge made the cheapest score ever in history of the world.
Just with just stuff that's lying around in the apartment.
We've made a studio in the pool room of Ben Ricky's parents' house, and his dad probably got sick of us. He'd come in and probably want to kick us out. No, I don't know. It was pretty low budget, but it turned out great. I think the mood that was being put down onto laptops or whatever we were using, Pro Tools, GarageBand. The mood was good, so we knew it would work. So. I guess what? What do we even know? No, sorry. I feel like we started messing around with it though.
Yeah.
You gave me a rough cut, and me and Dino started messing around with it probably like November.
Yeah.
But it was like spread out.
Yeah, we
You
probably
know,
worked like 5 or 6 days before he came.
Yeah.
Before we went to your
We'd
house.
like do it for
You
a
guys were,
night,
like,
and then like a week
out.
would go by.
Shit,
Because
the
I was
most
in
is
San
like-
Francisco.
The most was like 15 days of work or something. 2 weeks.
Sounds
It was done pretty quickly, but
So you want to just say 2 weeks?
yeah, a couple weeks.
We're just gonna say it took 2 weeks to make the score. But yeah, it was over time. You know, that's why it was tough for us to figure out an exact length because you know we work and then take time off and work because
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco and he was an hour away. So yeah. But then there was that one weekend where we kind of crammed
Yeah.
with Ben guiding us along and letting us know, you know, what was working and what wasn't, and kind of staying up all night for a good, I think it was like 4 days. So
That's right.
yeah, it was fun.
Like, what's next for you?
Anytime someone asks us that, it's a no.
No? Okay.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Damn it, that was fun.
Is there a score coming out?
Yeah. We've heard there's going to be.
There's what?
Is the score coming out?
I think so.
Just wants to know if the score's coming out for Waterboy.
Who's releasing it?
I don't know.